Asian capital of Britain. My name is NILIMA DEVI MBE. I have been working in Leicester as a dance artist for the past 40 years. I would like to, before I can start sharing my creative journey, I would like to thank Meera Kaushik, the Munch UK team, for making me part of this Munch UK platform, as well as congratulate her for bringing these wonderful creative ideas to make South Asian dance artists to be part of this Munch and share their creative journey in dance. I would like to give many thanks to all the volunteers, Sambika, Suhani, as well as Subhalakshmi, who has been guiding us for the past 3 days about how to use this technology and all that. And huge thanks to Subhalakshmi. Without their support, this would not have been possible. So, wonderful thing what is happening with the Munch UK. Then I would like to now take you my so I would like to take you my journey to India, where I was born and brought up in Gujarat, in Baroda, where I did my school education as well as university education. When I was young, I used to do a lot of dancing and singing, because whenever the music would come on radio, I would start enjoying that. So my father thought, oh, I got an interest in this. So he thought when I should teach her proper, I should give her systematic training in dance. So when I became 13, he took me to Baroda Music College, where only you can start at the age of 13, because they were teaching theory along with the practical training in Kathak. He wanted me to learn Kathak because when he was young, he happened to see a wonderful cultural show where he saw Kathak dancers performing Kathak stories, and he could immediately connect to that. So he thought at that time, oh, when I have a daughter, I will teach her Kathak dance, and that is how I was introduced to the world of Kathak. I started my training with my Guruji's 2 senior disciples, Narendra sir and Prafulla Ben Oza. I was studying with my Guruji, Pandit Sundarlal Gangani, who is the exponent of Jaipur School of Kathak, a versatile tabla player as well as a poet, and unique technical Kathak composition, which is such as parans and tihai and chand and also on. In my final year diploma, again I was encouraged by Damayanti Joshi, who came to take exam. Then she said that you have a lot of potential to grow, and after diploma, what are you going to do? You must continue further training. So with this sort of encouragement, and while training in diploma, I also got scholarship because I always got good marks, and I was encouraged through that as well. So I decided to do Bachelor of Kathak, and so I joined degree course, and my final year become BMUS. I again got encouraged by Kumudini ji, because she came to take my exam, and she said that, oh, why don't you do and continue with master training as well, because you can progress further. And so that is how I finished my MUs, and again Damayanti ji came to take my exam, and I got distinction, and she said, are you going to take dance as a career? And I said, I do not know what I'm going to do. But I must say that while doing this kind of my training at the degree level, I was also offered Sangeet Natak Academy's scholarship to go and train at the Kathak Kendra with Pandit Biju Maharaj ji. But because the training was in Delhi, my now again I was not sure ability to teach dance. Now during that period, one day the music teacher from Baroda Music College came to me and said that I have got a letter from Germany that one German guy wants to marry an Indian girl and my son is living with him. So can you please show me some girls? So I said to him that there are a lot of girls in your class, why don't you ask them? And he said, no, not like this type of girls. I said, then who's going to marry a German guy? So he said, no, you come to my house and can you please come to my house and read his letter and then you decide. So I read his letter and I couldn't believe he write so much beautiful Hindi. His handwriting was like a pearl. His expressions for his life partner and for his wife was so fascinating. So I just said, is this a German guy writing in Hindi? And he said, yes. He said, why don't you try for yourself? Because he got courage with my expressions and with my enthusiasm. So I said, oh, but I need to first make it sure that my horoscope match. Because my horoscopes were very difficult to match whenever I got the proposal, and my grandfather advised my father that my marriage should take place with the horoscope match. So he said, okay, get his horoscope and then you start and then you take it from there. So I asked for his horoscope and luckily it matched and I couldn't believe it.
Okay.
I got a horoscope from Germany, from this German guy, and the horoscope matched luckily. So it was very surprising for me. And then the ball started rolling, we started corresponding with each other, and in February 1979, when he came to India, he came to Baroda to see me and met my parents and my family, and we were all very impressed with his beautiful Hindi speaking. He communicated so well, became part of our family immediately. He wore kurta paijama and I couldn't think that he has come from Germany, he has come from Kashmir. So that is how we started getting to know each other. We also went to see one day Kumi Ben's performance in General Education Auditorium in Baroda, and he really liked her storytelling of Thumri, and I explained to him about the Thumri, what she's trying to express through her dance. And he also said that he also used to watch a lot of performances in Germany, and he was particularly impressed by Sapna Sundari's performance, where she did Nal and Damayanti story and she explained to the audience, and then it was so easy to follow her. So he really loved storytelling aspect of Indian dance. So we started, he also watched my dance class and he really liked that. He saw that I have got interest in teaching as well as communicating with my students, and he saw that there is a parallel there between me and him, because he also taught German and Hindi at Hindi and Sanskrit, sorry, not German, at German university. So later on we started having some discussions. Of course, we observed some social distancing, because he was sitting at one end of the corner, I was another end of the corner, and we started talking and discussing about various things. And while doing so, all of a sudden he said, "Chalo, kab shadi karna hai?" And I was very surprised. I said, "Let us speak to my parents." And so we spoke to my family, my parents, and then we decided to get engaged. Then he went back to Germany, and after 2 months he came back, and then we got married according to Hindu ceremony. And within 3 days I was in Germany, Zoom, you know. There I met a lot of Indian friends, and it was wonderful. A month of May, wonderful flowers were sprung everywhere, and I really started enjoying that. I also, later on I became busy with teaching dance and German University, at the Bochum University, at Dusseldorf Institute in Dortmund, as well as I was invited to teach at Tagore Institute in Bonn. So I really enjoyed that, working with some German girls, and some Indian girls also came to learn dance. Within that period, we also came to Leicester, because he had a house in Leicester. So we came to see his house and met some of his family friends. So we we did that visit, and I really like Leicester because it really reminded me of Baroda. And so he said that, okay, then that looks good. So then we went back to Germany again, and then he organized my performances in all over Germany. I gave 17 performances were booked. We invited a tabla player from India, as well as we took some German musicians to accompany with my dance, and I started giving performances. While doing that performance work, I was expecting for a baby, but my gynecologist said that there is not a problem if you have started training in dance since young age, so you should be able to perform. So I gave all my performances, and I danced up to the age of when I was expecting till 6 months. So my baby got real rhythm since his conception, So that was, and I did not have any problem. Now what happened while performing and touring in Germany, in one place in Wuppertal, they made my posters with NILIMA DEVI. And I said, what is this? And they said, no, we want to look it more authentic. Devi sounds more artistic as well. So we don't want to give you surname, Mensky surname, but Devi sounds well. And since then I became Devi. So after my performances, when the baby was born, after 1 month I came to Leicester, and in September 1980. And immediately I started inquiring whether I can teach dance anywhere in Leicester. So there were no facilities at all. So we decided to start teaching at the back of my house, where there was a lovely space there. So we created that space into a beautiful studio. And I started on 1st January 1981 teaching with 3 students. Then I also gave interviews on radio, and so a lot of women started coming to learn dance, as well as a lot of people started calling me for dance workshops, performances in Leicester and Leicestershire, as well as East Midlands region. Then I was asked to go and teach dance in Nottingham Hindu Temple, and I started with few young women and girls who were really keen on dance. So this is how my journey started. Again in 1982 I got the second baby, and then after a few months I started my teaching work as well. So while teaching in at my studio, I realized I think I must give some aim to reach to these students, and so they can keep consistency and they can create more interest in dance. So I devised a syllabus, diploma syllabus, based on the syllabus of Baroda Music College. And that really helped, because many students gave exam at different levels, of course, and very few reached to the final year diploma. So while doing these exams in my institute, we invited a lot of guest artists from UK and also from India as well to take the exam. So when they were visiting, they could come and take the exam. So I would like to give, for example, Pratap ji came, Padma Sharma ji came, Rohini ji came, my Guruji also, he took exam. So like that we invited, because it was a bit frightening for my students, but I think it is important that they perform in front of a guest examiner. So that work continued. At the same time, I was interested in Prayak Sangeet Samiti exam for junior diploma, because that is, I think, again gave it was not a lengthy course, and one can achieve diploma within 3 years of training program. So some of the students were encouraged to take junior diploma exam in Prayak Sangeet Samiti, and they used to get examiner from India. So 1 year they had an exam. Gopi Krishna ji came as an examiner, and he was very happy to see the standard of my students, and he said, oh, it's a wonderful happening. Work is, I think there is a lot of good work happening in Kathak here as well, not only in London, and that I think it was like a blessing to hear from artists like Gopi Krishna ji that I am a good teacher. Afterwards, again in this journey, I would like to immediately take you to the ISTD Kathak syllabus, which was established in late 1990, after 1990. It started, I think, 93, 94, if I am not wrong. And so I became part of that ISTD Kathak syllabus. I contributed to the syllabus, and then we became part of ISTD examination, and hundreds of students took various graded exam in ISTD syllabus. Now, in 1984, Hermine McIntosh, the dance officer from East Midlands, she came to see my work, and she liked it, but at the same time she said that we are going to advertise 2 part-time posts for as an animator post. So I think you must apply for one of the posts. So after a few months, when the post was advertised, I applied for a part-time post, and another part-time post was given to Piali Ray. So together with Piali and myself, we encourage a lot of young people from schools and community. We trained them. We went to a lot of schools and trained them for showcase performances such as an evening of Indian dance, seasons of India, and so on. So by doing this community and school education work, we also invited guest artists from UK to perform, and on the same platform, I and Piali also perform with my students. So this is this kind of dance was buzzing in Leicester and created a lot of interest, and we started getting inquiries to teach dance in various centers in Leicester. So I and Piali thought that we cannot reach everywhere. We need a pool of art dancers who can go and teach now at these various centers in Leicestershire and also in the East Midlands. So we planned a trainee animator program by inviting those young women who were training in dance. So like that we gathered something like 15 interested young women in dance to learn dance through this training program. So I invited Veena Ladwa and Joy Foxley from Leicester, and then I encourage all of my students here in Leicester. So Geeta Lakhlani, Naina Vitekar, also Preeti Raithata, and at that time some young women also who got married and came to Leicester, they also did some dance training in India. So like that Smita Vadnekar was introduced, Vaidhi Pancholi and Nimisha Parmar. So they all became part of this dance training program. We invited a lot of guest artists to work with them, and through those guest artists they learn the technique of how they were teaching, the type of music they were using. They develop awareness for various Indian dance forms, as well as they learn some folk and creative dance items as well. So that really developed a lot of confidence, enthusiasm among these young women, and then we started giving them dance classes in places where there was demand, and they started teaching. So this is how we develop a team of dance teachers in Leicester. And what happened that later on these animators, they were invited to go in other regions and help other organizations to develop dance there. So they were invited to do workshops and performances in various parts of UK, and that was really rewarding, because I think that is what we wanted to see, that everybody can benefit from this kind of work. Then in 1988, Piali went back to Birmingham, and she took animator post there. So I continued with my work here in Leicester with my team of young dance teachers, and we created, of course, showcase performances for their students, and a lot of performances took place. But also I became part of advisory team at the Arts in Education, where they used to teach classical ballet, contemporary ballet, drama and Western music. So I became kind of a part of, I was teaching Kathak there as part of advisory team. I also went to many schools and gave a lot of performances and workshops. But at the same time, I saw the role model of classical ballet, where they would go around schools and pick up talented children and would give them a weekly training in ballet. So I did the same for Kathak and picked up a lot of talents from schools and started Kathak training at Nightingale Center. So at these centers also, I think Akash also came to train there, Kesha also came, and Meera also trained through this training program. And now, as part of my work as an advisory teacher there, they used to present large showcase performances as part of summer festivals in the Haymarket Theatre, and nearly 300-400 children used to take part. So I became part of that production team, and I was given one of the episodes as part of the large productions such as Aladdin, Jungle Book, American Dream, Stars and Stripes, The Tempest, and that is how I enjoyed creating Kathak work as part of this whole team. And also it gave a lot of confidence and encouragement to these students who were training in dance. Now, later on, what happened that I also gave focus to my CICD training there as well, because there's a lot of young women from community used to come there and train in dance. So I invited a lot of guest artists when they will come to UK. So like this, a lot of workshops in Kathak given by Maulik Shah, Rani Khanam, Daksha Sheth also came, and then Sanjukta Panigrahi, Malvika Sarankai, all these people, they came and started, they were invited to give workshops to again keep the enthusiasm and interest in dance with people who were learning Kathak as well as Bharatanatyam. Now, during this period of 1990, a lot of interesting development took place. Aditi, there was an Aditi, an organization, a national organization for South Asian dance, was set up to support dance artists and young people who were training in dance. So they they awarded scholarship for young women, young students to go to India and train there for a year. So I was so proud that 2 of my students was awarded a national scholarship of Aditi to go to Kadam Institute in Ahmedabad and train for 1 year. So Shivani Satya and Nimisha Patel, they both got scholarships, and they came back with wonderful skills and energy and lot of dance repertoires. And they also saw a lot of dancing in Ahmedabad, and they also toured with Kumudini ji in different parts of India as well, so to see performances. Now, so then later on, what happened that I also started producing work as part of CICD projects, and then created Rainbow Production based on the theme of Bhagavad Gita. And to encourage my students, wonderful, talented students, I took them to India, and this production was choreographed by Kumi Ben. So we took 1 month residency there, and they were part of the training program at Kadam, but also they took part in the creative production of this Rainbow Production, where Atul Desai composed the music. And then later on we came back. The students, I must mention their name because they were just fabulous students. Shivani Satya, Dimple Zaveli, Bhavika Jetwa, and Gemini Chauhan. They all went with me, and they all came back with wonderful confidence, but as well as spirit of training in India and becoming part of this creative production. And so we performed at various venues in the UK. So this kind of, so it was very important for me to keep the enthusiasm of young people, to keep it about the dance and involve them in this kind of production. So, and work with artists like Kumudini ji is so important. During that time, I also met Rohini ji in Bhavan when she came to do summer school workshop, and I went to see her, and I watched her teaching Sushmita about Niratata Dhangpad, and I really liked it. And then I spoke to her, and she said, "You must come to Nitya Bharati in Pune," and that is how I got to know Rohini ji. And later on, of course, I went there and I saw her work, and I was very impressed with the way she has designed Kathak grammar to teach her students. Her students' footwork was just immaculate, you know, and the way she also designed Abhinaya work, because she also she was very good in showing the details of Abhinaya. So all this thing was very fascinating for me to learn, as well as I invited her here to not only to take the exam, but she also did some masterclass workshops and gave some demonstrations here in Midlands as well. And she also performed for one of the events and did beautiful Thumri, Baita Ki Bhav Thumri, on Chaiti. So that really fascinated everybody, that at this age also you can be so involved in dance. So everybody were mesmerized by Rohiniji's Abhinaya. Then I think while doing this work, I also was very passionate about my own solo work. So I did a lot of performances with musicians from UK and India, and did productions like Kathak Aiso Kathak, Images, and many more. Mallory as well, which was commissioned by Chisenhel Dance Space, and did some also work with my students, and we also perform as well throughout UK, such as Kathak Double Bill, Triangle, and also of course Rainbow, as I described to you. That was very important to give this kind of experience about performing as well. I also later on realized while teaching dance in schools and community that a wonderful resource needs to be created. So I created Sinjini DVD, which I would like Agnello to show that. So Sinjini DVD was created as, so you can see the Sinjini DVD. Sinjini DVD was created where a lot of in this it's a resource pack where different classical dance artists are performing. I think I have covered almost all 7 classical dance styles, and musicians also came and took part in this DVD presentation, and it has become a wonderful resource since then for schools, community centers, and all that. I can show you that apart from my solo work and with my students, I also did a lot of collaboration work with various artists from UK, India and Japan, and did a lot of performance work too. And as part of our 25 years of celebration, I created Karman book, which shows about the development of Indian dance, the historical development of Indian dance in Britain, with particular reference to Leicester. So this one is a wonderful resource for anybody, and even for students to, if they want to learn about, know about Indian dance, or to research about Indian dance in Leicester. Then we also celebrated 30 years as part of CICD's project development, because what happened that my schoolwork continued to happen, and I also started doing some project work through CICD, where we also created a lot of festivals such as Nartan festivals, Festival of Performing Arts, where we invited artists from UK and abroad to do some dance, drama, as well as poetry as well. And so this was again all the time inviting artists as part of various projects and performing, encouraging young people as well as young students who were training in dance. They were also encouraged to perform as part of this festival program. Then we also did a lot of conferences, as I realized that it is also very important to conference. So we did several conferences, and our final conference was on, as part of 30 years, we did Moving On conference, which was done in partnership with Cow Theatre, and our evening performance was performed by wonderful dancers. 4 male dancers performed, Revanta Sarabhai, Suraj Subramaniam, Akash Odedra, our own, Leicester's own, and also Ash Mukherjee, and people, and I especially invited male dancers to perform because I wanted young boys to take interest in dance. So during that time, so that was very wonderful to do. I must say that while teaching at Knighton Fields and also teaching at CICD, I also developed a special class for boys, and I just kept free training for them, because I want them to encourage them to learn dance as an education, as part of culture, and as well as to give wonderful exercise for their mind and body. So as part of this, I also introduced dance to my two sons as well, and that was nice to see that they can also learn about culture through dance, So now throughout my journey, I must say that I also met one Japanese professor. He was writing works about different people who were working in Leicester community. So he also wanted to write a book about art and culture, and he found out about my work, and so later on he interviewed me, and he produced this book about my dance history as well as about my personal journey as well. So if anybody wants to know more about my marriage or my dance work, so this book is here, So now as part of all this project development work, we also we started doing archival work for CICD, and we produce online resource called Abhilekh, which we have got 30 hours of video are on YouTube, as well as a lot of photographic archive, and a lot of costume archive is there online. In the recent year, we also supported health and well-being projects, and as part of that, we did several projects, and we involved a lot of women's group in this health and well-being project, so to make them active to dance. And Naina and Preeti were wonderful in working with these women, and we created a showcase of performance where they really enjoyed it, but it also gave them wonderful exercise. And they all perform, of course, Bollywood, and so they remember their childhood, that how they used to dance, and now still they can dance because of such projects. And then we also did mental health project, where we invited where again Preeti was involved, and music and some music artists were involved. Gunwanji did some singing, and the tabla and some dhol player was involved in Anand Holton. He also did workshops with mental health groups. So again we did some sharing, and they all enjoyed, because a lot of mental health groups enjoyed working on the drum, and singing was also some people enjoyed singing, as well as through that we created some showcase performance for them as well. And that is how we started progressing. And recently we have done this Poshak Pura like project, because we have got 300 costumes as part of our various productions, and to preserve them and to keep them as an archive, we created we donated these costumes to New York Museum with an historical archival as a history archive, as well as we gave to Wolverhampton Gallery, and also Nottingham Museum, and V&A Museum is also interested. So as part of the project, we did 14 events. We toured the events with exhibiting costumes, giving workshops and performances on classical, folk and creative dance, as well as we did arts and craft workshop for children. And that again connected community with a history of Indian dance and culture. So this project is going to come to an end, and now we have a lot of plans for 40 years of celebration next year, where we are going to invite a lot of artists, and I hope this pandemic comes to an end, and we can do so by celebrating this 40 years, inviting a lot of artists from UK. If not, we will still do so, but I do not know, maybe in an online format, So we are very excited. Now, I would like to share with you my Guruji's compositions, because he has created fantastic parans and poems and all that. So I will share with you. One is Piplika Paran, and it is also Pakhavash Paran. Nadin dinna, nadin dinna, nadin dinna, tadin dinna, da. tei, tat a, tei, tei. Da, 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 ti, da, gi na ti te da, kar da ti te da, kar da ti te, kat da ti te, da, da, kar da, da ge diga na ge ti te kata, da na diki te, da diki te, da ge diga na ge ti te kata, da na diki te, da ge diga na ge ti te kata, kita na ge da, diki te, tak te, na da kita ta, da ti da kita tir, da ti da kita tir, da ti da, na na kita, na kita ta tir, da ti da kita tir, da ti da kita tir, da ti da, na na kita, na kita ta tir, da ti da kita tir, da ti da kita tir, da ti da. Then I would like to speak a poem which is about Krishna poem, and it about complain about Krishna. So when Gopikas got fed up with the Krishna, they go to Mother Jashoda and complains that कहाँ कहूँ कछ सुनत नाई समझाओ जशोदा कन्हैया की मैया, नित नित करते झगड़ो हमसे रोकत गेल हमारो भाई, ठाड़ रहे है ग्वाल बाल धरी बेचन को ना जान दे, ठाड़ रही है ग्वालन सारी मग में करी झकझोरी नहीं, माखन की मटकी फर डारी कंगन चूरिया तोड़ डारी, विंध्या मोरी फोड़ डारियो चुन्नर मेरो फाड़, बाजू बंद कसक डार कमर कनती चोरदार, भर भर के पिचकारी मारी अंगिया मोरी रंगदार, हसन लगे थे तारी तारी हारी मैं तो हारी, सुंदर ने ये छवि निर्ति गीतती बनी हारिया, कहाँ कहूँ कछ सुनत नाई समझाओ जशोदा कन्हैया की मैं, त्रा नल नल थोर थोर थे तत्त 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 ता. After hearing complaint about Krishna, Mother Jashoda got very angry and she says to Krishna, ओरी कन्हैया कहाँ कहत है ग्वालन सारी, पल पल में तू करे झक झोरी, परब झोरी मैं भर झोरी, तू ढीठ कन्हैया ना माने ना सुने हमारी, है फरियाद तुम्हारी सारी, मन में छाई उदासी तोरी, कालो जुगर से तुम निकलो तब हाथ धरा कर मार खिलाओ, बंद कराओ तंग कराओ उल्टे पांव लटकाऊंगी, देखेगी सब ब्रज की नारी करेगी सब हंसी तुम्हारी, ना कर ना झका झोरी झोरी माखन की ना करना चोरी, अच्छो मारो प्यारो मीठो नंदला बंसी को बजायोला, सुंदर के मन नंदला ले अत बलिहारीला, झुकत झुक झूम 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 दिखदा दिख दिख थो दिख 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 थई तत्त थे बलिहारी बलिहारी बलिहारी. So this is how this is in Braj Bhasha, and these are the specialities of my Guruji. There are many poems like this he has written. I would like to finish, I would like to say again my many thanks to Manch UK for making me part of this journey. I would like to thank a lot of people for making my work happen. First of all, my parents who really always supported me and gave me support in all parts of throughout my journey in my life. They also came to Leicester to look after my children when I was performing and touring. So huge thanks to my parents, my husband who has always supported me, he being an international academic going around world, he also said that I should also continue with my dance, and we always work in balance so that I could work in the field of Kathak. I would like to also thank all my students who were also part of my journey, and Akash is like my third son, so he always keeps in touch with me. Akash, Subhash, Kesha, Meera, as well as all the others, all my dance teachers in Leicester and in Nottingham. I would like to say huge thank you to all of them. All dance artists who have come and contributed in Leicester, who have come to Leicester and contributed. And also I would like to thank you, Anusha Subramaniam, to be part of my Creative Abhinaya project, where we both have worked together on Abhinaya, presenting Abhinaya with her by using using interactive dance theatre work, and that I would like to give a huge thank to Anusha, because it was a very successful show at the Lakeside Art Center, and we are going to perform, also do the tour in September, but now because of the lockdown we hope to do it in future time. So huge thank you to Anusha, all the artists, all the teachers. I would like to say everybody who came and be part of Leicester's dance historical development, and huge thank um, to everybody. Namaste and thank you. Dhanyavad.